I don't care what the reason is, putting a critical card to make a skill effect usable behind a selection box paywall is never okay. Hey guys, Sonic Smashmer here, and the new Synchron support did drop, but no live polls for this. Reason being, well, let's take a look here. So, the new skill dropped, and this is a really good skill. As I've tested before, this skill is basically everything we need. The problem is one of these effects requires you to add on your markets at Duel. You want to know where this is? Yeah, it is exclusive to a selection box. Granted, it is a super mini, but it doesn't change one fact. Locking a critical part of a skill behind a paywall is never okay. And not to mention, if you look in the extra deck, notice something that's missing? Yeah, we didn't get Junk Speeder, which was needed for this skill to actually work. So, here's the thing. This single-handedly takes out a good chunk of our end board ceiling. It's just not worth it at this point because of that. And I don't mean to say that as in like, oh, this skill's unplayable because no speeder. No, it's playable. The problem is, Accel Synchro Stardust Dragon, great as it is, just isn't enough. Like, sure, making a Synchro Monster unaffected so you get, like, unaffected Quasar is kind of insane. But most end boards these days can be easily broken when it comes to stuff like that. So, yeah, us lacking in Junk Speeder severely hurts the consistency of this skill, and consistency is, well, definitely an improvement now, what this skill still needed to provide. And while it did do that, we don't have the necessary cards to actually do that. Like, I'm going to show a replay that I just got not that long ago. And as you can tell, this is the Subterror matchup, so we just kind of do it this way anyway.
A duelist judge. I also have a way to turn this duel around. Let's as you will. Duel. It's go time. Each card from my hand.
Free search.
I activate a continuous spell. A duelist's job is to give life.
Now, as you will see, in this situation, thanks to Accel Synchro Stardust, we could have made Crystal Wing an unaffected Quasar. Like, the ceiling on these end boards could have been great, but we don't have Speeder to take advantage of that.
I activate my monster's effect. The tuner monster Junk Synchron.
And yes, I chronicled 3 Junk Synchrons for the occasion as well.
Even the tiniest scrap has value. And this appear Junk Warrior.
If you're wondering why Junk Warrior's in the extra deck, I mentioned it in the testing, but we needed to have an overtake target in case we only saw overtake.
Junk Warrior gains the I activate my monster's effect.
And I mean, Chevalier de Fleur is a placeholder.
Need your help. I synchro summon a monster.
Accel Synchro Stardust, and you'll see what I mean by this card being really good.
I activate my monster's effect. I set a card. I set a card. I end my turn. It's my turn. I drop from my hand. I activate a spell card.
He goes to Eclipse. Cool story, bro, but Accel Synchro Stardust tribute.
The hopes of the world coalesce into a single star. Let's rev it up. Synchro summon. Take flight. Stardust Dragon.
Man, it feels good to be able to use this finally.
I'll rev it up to blast through my limitations. the storm.
And we just casually make an unaffected Quasar.
I won't flip.
That's really good, don't get me wrong, but
I set a card from my hand, shooting Quasar Dragon's effect.
yeah, also, don't try to choke the final battle, that's just pointless. Always choke Hidden City in that situation.
I activate my monster's effect. I activate my monster's effect. I set a card. What will you do now? It's my end turn. My turn. I draw from my hand.
Cosmic off the top.
Slow down. I flip over my set card. Here's what I'll do. I activate my monster's effect. Shooting Quasar Dragon's effect. Here's what I'll do. I activate my monster's effect. I activate a quick play spell.
Let's not do that. Let's make sure that misses timing.
The evolution of light. Shooting Quasar Dragon.
Our negate's back online.
The tuner monster.
Yeah, that is something you can actually do.
I need your help. Even the tiniest scrap has value. Appear.
And thanks to us getting Junk Destroyer from outside the extra deck, we can break through. So technically this is a pretty good setup. The skill is perfect, as I said before, but Speeder could have given us so much more.
Tidal sweep. I'm not scared to attack. Let's battle. This is the strength of our bond. Attack shooting Quasar Dragon. The burst of creation. Excellent dueling. You proved how skilled you are. This is the strength of our friendship.
So this isn't necessarily bad. It's pretty good for what it is. The best skill we've got, that's for sure. But again, we're lacking in Speeder. And that blows. That really, really blows. So, I don't know if I'm going to be going back to Synchron just yet. Should we get Speeder? Oh, absolutely. It's on. It's on site. Right now, I'm focusing more on Red Dragon Archfiend at the moment. I just happen to get this ready in the process. So, if I end up not having Red Dragon Archfiend ready at that point, I'm going to attempt to try to King of Games with Pure Synchron once again. But, don't get your hopes up. That's all I will tell you on that. Do not get your hopes up. I don't know if we're going to be actually going back yet. If we do, hey, awesome. But we're just missing that critical piece that we actually need. Now, as for the whole on your mark, get set, duel situation, yeah, I already mentioned this, but locking a critical part of the skill that is searched through one of its effects behind a selection box paywall, super many or not, is not okay. This should have been in the freaking main box with Accel Synchro Stardust instead of, you know, giving us freaking Guru or just Sub-Cancer in general. I will never not call Sub-Terror Sub-Cancer. If you were there for it back in the day, you know why. Like, I'm just sick of it. I'm personally just sick of it. That's just me, make of it what you will. Even so, I gotta say, how do I put this? Just a quick retrospective, this is a really good skill, I love this skill, it's just, we don't have the critical card we needed. Once we do, this is gonna be really good again. finally, Synchron actually being, you know, competitively viable for the first time in years. Feels like, well, not exactly years, it's been like about a year or so since it's been viable, but we're still in a really good spot, at least as far as the skills go. We just need speeder and we're good to go. But again, I'm still miffed about the whole pay-to-play situation. That's been a thing with a lot of decks recently, I'm noticing. With Invoked and Dogmatica, if you want your Magical Meltdown or your Nadir Servant to make them more consistent, you better be hoping that those selection boxes are there, so pay up. And you have to go through this multiple times because you really want 3 of each, so again, pay up. And that I'm just not a fan of. I hate practices like that. That just makes games like this pay to play rather than pay to win, and pay to play is a huge problem. Not to mention, we already had RDA, Synchron, DDD, and Tindangle in the new main box, because, you know, those are what were archetypally advertised, I guess I could say. I just tripped over my own words there, because I'm really trying to get my thoughts together. I'm on a time crunch right now. But we had 3 really popular archetypes, and the brand new one for Akira, who just dropped. That's literally all you need. You didn't need to add Dinos, you didn't need to add Subterror, you didn't need to add, like, Tears of the Overroot to a freaking main box, because that card still should have stayed limit 3. Don't at me. And just as a whole, I don't know how to feel. This whole situation has gotten out of hand, and I don't know what to say. Like, I really just don't know what to say. There's not much I can say, because, you know, I'm, again, on a time crunch at the moment. So, I'm gonna need more time to actually gather all my thoughts completely into, like, a fully compiled package. But, the point is, this has to stop. The hate for 5Ds in general has to stop. I mean, granted, Jack, as I'll show here, even though I don't have all the cards at the moment, got some really good stuff with RDA. He's eating good. I actually need to put that Glossy Bone Archfiend in while I can. Let me take care of that. There we go. Like, I'm still working on this. It's close to done. I could also just switch out Void Ogre for another Red Dragon Archfiend, which might be possible. I have to see how that goes. But, like, he got most of his modern support minus Flame Crime. And we don't even need Flame Crime, as we've seen. It's just really good. So, why does our boy Yusei get shafted here? These two are supposed to be rivals. It only makes sense for these two to get globes together. And Yusei only got half of one. Now, granted, if Speeder's Limit 1 bundled on release, we're kinda cooked. But, I'll find something. I'll find something at some point. I'll try to find something for this skill, at least try to King of Games with it, if I don't build Red Dragon Archfiend completely by then. Which, it's coming up soon, so I might be going in with this after all, we'll see. But, the principle of locking critical cards behind selection boxes, that's not okay. That just makes these popular decks pay to play, and just in general, I already hated it when they freaking did it with Magical Meltdown and Nadir Servant, even though I don't think those cards should have been in the game yet. But what can you do? Or if they were, they should have been bundle cards, like a Limit 1 bundle card, so you can't play freaking Super Poly or something. Although, I'd rather Mechaba than the one that stayed Limit 1, but, like, what can you do? I don't know, man. I just don't care for this kind of principle. Granted, with On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel, once you get it once, you don't need it anymore, thankfully. But it's still annoying. And just imagine freaking Nadir Servant Magic Meltdown where you want 3 of those. Or Elder at the Entis. Yeah. That about sums up all I can say for this. I'm very low on time. I got stuff I need to do very, very soon. So, If you're wondering what I think of Synchron right now, and whether or not I'll be going back, I'm going to attempt it. I don't think it'll go well, but I am going to attempt it. We will see how this goes, and we will go from there. But that's all I really have to say at the moment. Until the profile, if, I can actually make it to King of Games with this. Later, guys!